Beneath the waves lives a mysterious creature, older than the dinosaurs. Octopus. So incredibly alien, changing color in an instant, shape-shifting into almost anything. They are the planet's true masters of disguise. Now we're discovering they are one of the most intelligent beings on the planet. 2 years immersed in their world reveals they use tools.
I felt completely shocked at the level of sophistication that I was witnessing.
Think creatively. Communicate with other species. And maybe even dream.
I wonder sometimes if the octopuses are dreaming about me, wondering what I am, who I am.
We're just beginning to understand what they have to tell us.
I have just had a conversation with an octopus.
The Great Barrier Reef. The biggest coral structure on the planet. Over 1,200 miles long. And home to more than 9,000 different species. Including her. The day octopus. Octopus are so alien, it's hard to know what you're looking at. She and the 300 other species share some similar quirks. A siphon that propels her through water. A soft, boneless body conceals a razor-sharp beak for crushing fish and crabs. 2 bulbous eyes sit above a big, powerful brain that's capable of something extraordinary. She can transform the color, shape, and texture of her body in a fraction of a second. National Geographic explorer Dr. Alex Schnell has spent 15 years immersed in the world of the octopus.
Octopuses are the ultimate shapeshifters. They can choose when to hide and when to reveal themselves. And studying this behavior has offered a window into how they think.
Every dive brings her closer to these elusive animals. She has privileged access to their extraordinary shape-shifting skills. A superpower that makes them hard to spot.
Your mind starts to play tricks on you, and everywhere you look, you feel like, that's an octopus. Is that an octopus over there? I think that's one over there.
kind of give up and you're like, okay, I'm not going to look anymore. Something that you think is a piece of algae or a piece of coral suddenly moves.
Alex is face to face with a day octopus. The octopus sizes Alex up.
She's not really sure about me at the beginning, but we're eye to eye. And her skin becomes smooth as if to reveal herself. She becomes so relaxed that she starts to clean herself. Covering her eyes even though I'm right in front of her. And maybe that's a sign that she's beginning to trust me. When she reached out her arm and put her suckers on my hand, it just felt like a life-changing moment. And then she turns to look at me as if to say, "Are you coming?"
She allows Alex to follow her as she cruises along the coral. Until something spooks her. Reef sharks, 10 times her size. No way she can outswim these dangerous predators. But the day octopus reveals that she has something much better than speed. Invisibility. Every time there's danger, the day octopus melts into her surroundings.
One of the things that makes octopus so amazing is that their brain is connected directly to muscles in their skin. And these muscles are connected to about 20 million sacs of different coloured pigments. By stretching and relaxing each of the tiny sacs, the octopus can produce an endless array of patterns and colours.
And she can do it all in 1/5 of a second. The perfect disguise. Her trick is all the more astounding, given that she, like all octopuses, is colorblind. She doesn't need to see the color to be the color.
We now know that octopus skin is sensitive to light, which suggests that they can see with their skin, not in the way that they might be able to detect an image, but their skin is sensitive to hues, shadows, and colours so that they can detect their environment changing around them.
To keep herself safe, the day octopus transforms hundreds of times a day. And over weeks, she allows Alex to to see every shade, hue, and pattern. They become close.
When I started studying octopuses, it was difficult to tell differences between individuals. But if you study them for long enough, you'll see little imperfections on their skin. And this day octopus had a little scar below her eye, and that's why I named her Scarlet.
Time with Scarlet shows Alex that color changing is only half of her skill set.
Using small muscular structures similar to what we have on our tongue, octopuses can change the texture of their skin. So they can go from super smooth to really spiky in less than a second. But what blows my mind is they don't actually need to touch any of the texture that they're matching. They can match the texture just by looking at it.
It's getting late, which means more predators. A crevice in the coral is a safe den for the night. So unfazed now by Alex's presence, Scarlet's happy to drift off to sleep. All octopuses may not have Scarlet's ability for shape-shifting, but most can change color. And for some, survival depends not on blending in, but standing out. Near the southern tip of Australia, this pier is home to the weird and wonderful. As well as one of the deadliest animals on Earth. But unlike the day octopus, she comes out when the sun goes down. This is a female blue-ringed octopus, a mom-to-be. She's small, the size of a golf ball. She can blend into the background if she wants to, but it's not really her style. Her bright blue rings send a strong message, a warning. A single bite from her hidden beak releases enough neurotoxin to kill an adult human in minutes. Don't mess with her. Especially today. She's ready to lay her eggs, but it's getting darker, bringing out the reef's big boys. A smooth stingray, hunting on the seabed. She's not scared of him. She has enough venom to easily kill a ray. But the growing darkness is more of a problem. In the gloom, the octopus's blue rings lose their vibrancy. If the ray attacks, death to them both. So she does something that only blue-ringed octopus can do. Triggering muscles to reveal thousands of light-reflecting cells in her rings, she dials up her color. While also upping the contrast by darkening the skin around them. The ray gets the message loud and clear. This is one of the brightest warning displays of any animal on Earth. Now she can concentrate on laying her eggs. Somewhere out of reach. To all but the most flexible. Those babies have one killer mom. Octopuses combine their smarts and shape-shifting skills to expertly decide when to hide and when to stand out. But some use this alien-like superpower in other ways. Something Dr. Alex Schnell wants to witness. Now that she has gained her trust, Alex hopes Scarlett will allow her and colleague Dr. Roger Hanlon, a world expert in octopus camouflage, to watch her hunt.
There's not another animal group on the Earth that can change as fast with as much diversity.
He knows the day octopus are extraordinary.
I call this one the king of camouflage.
Or in this case, the queen.
Does she recognize me? My emotions and my heart say yes. Then, just like before, she reaches out to me.
It seems Roger has been accepted too. They can both follow Scarlett as she heads off to hunt. Small fish and crabs are her favorite. But they like to hide deep in the coral. Not a problem when your 8 arms can delve into the tiniest openings.
Octopus arms are incredible. They're sensory and smart, and they can move even without the brain having to tell them.
And without bones or joints, they're the most flexible limbs on the planet. They can lengthen, shorten, and bend in any direction. Her large brain acts as a control center for further brain-like structures found in each of her sucker-lined arms.
An octopus have 200 suckers on each arm, and each sucker is so sensitive, it's like having a fingertip, nose, and a tongue all in one. Imagine how sensitive the world would be to an octopus.
But to hunt, she needs to focus. Scarlet must concentrate on her prey, not become it. Reef sharks aren't always on the lookout for an easy meal. This time, Scarlet uses her talents not to blend in, but to confuse. She mixes up her colors and patterns, breaking up her outline. It's called disruptive coloration. She can change her appearance more than 170 times every hour. The sharks should swim right by. But this one isn't so easily fooled. She's got one last trick. And she's left the best till last. Stretching the skin on her arms taut and wide, she flashes white. It's purposefully weird.
That flash is meant to make a predator hesitate to say, is that what I want to eat or not? This is a thinking, cogitating animal. It's making decisions every moment of the way. I really find that extraordinary.
Finally, a tasty crab. Even if she really had to pull out all the stops to get it. Day octopus are masterful shapeshifters. But they have a cousin who uses its intelligence to take these skills to the next level by creating the ultimate deception. Lush, tropical jungle on the shores of the Lembeh Strait. But beneath the water, a featureless floor of volcanic sand. A problem for this octopus. There's nowhere to hide. And lots of hungry predators. This flounder will rip the arm off an unfortunate octopus could change color. But in this exposed spot, it might not be enough. Time for some next-level shape-shifting. He transforms into such a good likeness of his enemy. He fools even a real flounder. Shape, color, movement. An impersonation so good, it's earned him his name. The Mimic. He drops the disguise when he spots prey. Food's hard to find here, unless you're a mimic. But the quest for his next meal has brought him into someone else's territory. Damselfish. They hate strangers invading their space. And they've got a nasty bite. So the mimic transforms into the one thing they won't mess with. The venomous sea crate. Their worst nightmare. The damselfish are certainly convinced. An Oscar-worthy performance. But he's still hungry. Patches of coral can be a good place to find food. But everyone's had the same idea. Moray eels, groupers, and the reef's most aggressive predator, the venomous lionfish. But the lionfish's fearsome reputation? Now this he can use. By adopting the fish's distinctive shape and pattern, the mimic warns off other predators. Including real lionfish. While he may not look exactly like a lionfish to us, it's how he appears to other animals that counts. The patch of coral is now his to hunt. This kind of shape-shifting hints at something unique. The mimic isn't just copying. He appears to know how other creatures see him. He's aware of what each one is scared of and can exploit their fear. This is strategy and manipulation, traits we associate with human-like intelligence. Shapeshifting is an art that octopus have perfected, transforming themselves to find food and avoid becoming someone else's. But what happens when two masters of disguise meet? Scarlet, the day octopus, is resting on the reef. After months of dives, she's now very used to her visitors. And willing to let them into the most intimate moment of her life. Scarlet's distracted. Another day octopus. Could it be a potential mate? Scarlet's now just over a year old. She may have already mated with several males and stored packets of their sperm inside her. She can even choose to mix the packets to fertilize her eggs. But she's keeping her options open. If a better suited male comes along, she'll get rid of these stored packets and use his alone. They touch, sucker to sucker, to check each other out. Yes, he's male. And he's into her. But Scarlet's not won over so easily. She wants to see what he's made of. And he'll be judged on his shape-shifting. A slow dance of changing color. Rippling his skin, he shows off new bumps. A display that could attract predators. But he can't afford to blend in. He must risk everything for her. Now, Scarlet's interested. Captured for the very first time. Her arms reach inside her body, and she expels the sperm from her previous encounters. It's an invitation. as he unfurls his arm. She accepts his advances. This is a specialized mating arm, found only in male octopus. A white sperm packet moves down a groove in the arm and into scarlet. It's the beginning of a new generation.
I've got to tell you, I've seen some of this before with this species, but I've never seen what I saw today. We've learned something scientifically.
I typically see octopuses on their own. It's rare to even see them interact. So to see two octopuses mating, it's such an intimate moment and such a rare sight to see in the wild.
Each one of Scarlet's babies will inherit her smarts and shape-shifting skills. Octopuses are the only animals in nature able to transform their bodies so completely in the quest to stay safe, feed, and mate. The time spent in Scarlet's world has opened Alex's eyes to her potential. Just what more might these extraordinary animals be capable of?
I've been lucky enough to build a relationship with the day octopus and see her mate in the wild and see the way that she uses her skin to communicate and also to hide. But there's still so much more to discover. There's so many more secrets to reveal.
Beneath the waves lives a mysterious creature, older than the dinosaurs. Octopus. So incredibly alien, changing color in an instant, shape-shifting into almost anything. They are the planet's true masters of disguise. Now we're discovering they are one of the most intelligent beings on the planet. 2 years immersed in their world reveals they use tools.
I felt completely shocked at the level of sophistication that I was witnessing.
Think creatively. Communicate with other species. And maybe even dream.
I wonder sometimes if the octopuses are dreaming about me, wondering what I am, who I am.
We're just beginning to understand what they have to tell us.
I have just had a conversation with an octopus.
the island of Sulawesi. "3,000 miles of lush, densely forested coastline. But beneath the water, things look very different. A few scattered reefs are the only refuge in an underwater desert. Any animal going out in the open is vulnerable. To survive here, you need brawn or brains. This is a coconut octopus. At 18 months old, she's already halfway through her short life. Like all octopuses, her mother died after she was born. She's been alone her whole life. Every single thing she's learned about the world, she's taught herself, and with astonishing speed. Most importantly, how to hunt. As she crushes her crab with her powerful bird-like beak. The succulent scent of her meal attracts attention. She could lose her dinner or her life. There's nowhere to hide. But even in her short life, she's learned how to make a run for it. Clasping the crab in two arms, she uses the others like feet. It's called stilt walking. But she can't run forever. It's time to take cover. And she's not called a coconut octopus for nothing. She uses her propulsive siphon like a leaf blower. To blast away sand clogging the shell. Using an object to solve a problem is known by scientists as tool use. A sign of great intelligence. Just 0.1% of animals are thought to use tools. Making a hideout earns her a place in this exclusive club. Scientists believe we barely scratched the surface of octopus smarts. National Geographic explorer and animal psychologist Dr. Alex Schnell researches octopus intelligence in the wild.
I really want to understand what's going on inside the octopus mind. But we're only just discovering how they're using that brain power.
Alex suspects these octopuses are capable of even more advanced tool use.
I cannot wait to see the pH.
Local expert Ben-Hur Serinda is here to help her research.
Let's give it a go.
Let's try.
I want to learn if their tool use has a type of ability that we call future planning. This is the ability to carry tools for future use, and it's a hallmark of intelligence. We've only ever seen it in chimpanzees and crows and humans.
A coconut octopus. But that's no coconut. This small female is using a clamshell because it has a big advantage. Portability. Even when you've got 8 arms, 2 shells are a handful. But so worth it. A large shoal of hungry mullet is a frightening sight for a fist-sized octopus. Her clamshells are the perfect safe house. Different type of shell, same genius tool use. And to Alex's amazement, she's not done yet. When she finds the right spot, she starts work on a more permanent shelter. This octopus has a remarkable understanding of how these shapes fit together. She manipulates the shells to fit just so. It's what Alex has been hoping to see.
Right in front of our eyes, she solves the problem of being so exposed in this desert-like landscape, bringing along her own shelter to use the next time that she might venture out.
With no parental training and short lifespans. Octopuses learn fast. Within months, they have to master problem solving and possibly plan for the future. Octopuses don't just make simple plans. They can devise complex and cunning strategies. When the tide turns here on this volcanic archipelago, the retreating Atlantic leaves behind tidal pools. And the churning water brings with it a visitor from the deep. Cut off in one of the pools is a hungry island octopus. Six months old, his hunting skills are all self-taught. He's about to take the ultimate risk. Sally Lightfoot crabs. An octopus favorite. The turning tides now exposes one of their favorite things to eat. Fresh algae. Mmm. So mouthwatering. But to get to it takes a leap of faith. The young octopus won't get as much as a snack by staying where he is. He needs a plan. Muscles in his eyes change the shape of the lens so he can focus out of water and see the best way to the jumping crabs. It's a dangerous journey. Sure, he's smart, but is he willing to bet his life on a strategy? He's going for it. He'll dry out and die in 20 minutes. One wrong move, and he's truly cooked. finally, he makes it. It's time for the next step of his master plan. Positioning rocks to make the perfect cover. The trap is set. Well-earned brain food. The island octopus has thought up, tested, and executed a killer hunting technique. Six months old, entirely self-taught, and already an accomplished strategist. So how do octopuses come up with all these smart ideas, despite living such short lives? To understand that, you need to know them as individuals. Extreme diver Crystal Janicki has logged more than 600 hours in the freezing waters off Canada's southern Pacific coast. It's a strange and otherworldly place to explore. The cold water is rich in oxygen and nutrients, turbocharging life and pushing it to extremes. Lurking in the deep is a colossus. The giant Pacific octopus is the biggest octopus on the planet. It can reach up to 30 feet from arm tip to arm tip. The length of a school bus. By diving with these giants for so many years, Crystal has begun to recognize and build relationships with individual octopuses.
When you lock eyes with an octopus, it's such a special moment. I get a real sense that they want to connect with us, that they want to learn from us. They have such curious minds. Maybe they're not so different from us after all.
Crystal is a citizen scientist, and her FaceTime with octopuses has led to a realization. Every animal has a distinct personality. While they're all smart, each uses its brain power in different ways. The best way to see it is to follow one on a hunt. To reach her full size, this giant Pacific octopus needs to eat at least 6 meals a day.
It's amazing to think that she started out as a hatchling the size of a grain of rice. These octopus have one of the fastest growth rates of any animal.
Her favorite food, red rock crab, is no easy catch. They're agile and fast. But they're up against a mastermind. Octopuses are hardwired for learning.
They have such incredible brains, such incredible knowledge, and the way they learn and grow so fast blows my mind.
When it comes to building neurons, critical brain connections for intelligence, octopuses have 3 times more capacity than humans. They're perfectly primed for new information. Every hunt is a chance to learn.
Over time, I started to notice how quickly they can problem solve and adapt on the fly.
Using her taste-sensitive suckers, she feels for crabs hidden in the rocks. No luck with that strategy. But a genius can change tack fast. She flushes the crabs out into open terrain. Then all of a sudden, she's gone.
She disappears within seconds. And then I see her tucked into the rocks. I'm not sure if she's searching for something or if she's hiding.
Her plan becomes clear. An ambush. She releases toxins that liquefy the crab's insides, making crab soup. Her tactic is creative, clever, but more importantly, it's hers. With no family to nurture or guide them, they seem to spend their short lives working out how they want to do something. The more they experience, the more they learn. And all beyond human speed. One of the biggest questions is just how octopuses retain all this information. In the Caribbean, tucked safely in her den, this island octopus is sleeping. She's earned it. She spends her days hunting in a complex world, full of obstacles and enemies. To help navigate it, scientists believe that octopuses have an especially sharp memory for geography. They might be able to build a mental map of visual landmarks and remember what they touch and taste. Like a multi-sensory GPS. This built-in roadmap points them to food. It's also a lifesaver. Barracuda are dangerous. Like most octopuses, she fires ink to create a distraction. But it's her memory that provides an escape route. A direct path back to her den. She might sleep for 4 hours, but her mind may not be entirely offline. It could be downloading. Dr. C.E. O'Brien is fascinated by the secrets of octopus sleep. In particular, the role sleep plays in octopus learning.
Over the course of 24 hours, the octopus spends about 60% of the time actually sleeping. I was very excited when I first saw the octopus sleeping because it is a behavior that had only been observed in the lab before.
To document her sleep, Dr. O'Brien places a small camera at the mouth of her den.
I can tell she's asleep by the dilation of her pupils. It becomes a very narrow slit. So for about 40 minutes, she'll be a very pale color, very quiet, very little movement. You'll just see her breathing. Then after about 40 minutes, she'll show something like REM sleep. So very suddenly, there'll be changes in color. You'll see movement of her mantle, her arms, her suckers. It really seems like when she's in that active sleep that she is experiencing dreams. It reminds me of a dog when it's sleeping and it's moving its paws and its whiskers, probably dreaming of chasing a squirrel or a rabbit.
This similarity to a dog may be no coincidence.
In mammals and birds, sleep plays an important role in memory consolidation and learning, so it's very likely that octopuses sleep for the same reasons. So it's possible that she's consolidating the memories of the new path that she took while she was foraging. Remembering where a particular tasty crab was, or maybe a particularly nasty eel was. I wonder sometimes if the octopuses are dreaming about me. Maybe she's dreaming about my face sticking in her den, wondering what I am, who I am, why I'm there.
If octopuses really do dream, it could explain how they're able to retain so much knowledge in such short lives. But what if everything they know about the world isn't just remembered, but used as the raw material for brand new ideas? Dr. Alex Schnell and Ben-Hur Serinda have returned to the den of the coconut octopus. The octopus has already shown Alex tool use, using a shell to hide from predators. But Alex hopes that if she's patient, she may get to see something even more astonishing: creativity.
When we're looking for glimmers of intelligence, we traditionally focus on animals that are more closely related to us. But to find it in an octopus that's so distantly related from humans, that would completely reframe the way we think about intelligence in the animal kingdom.
Her clamshell hideout is safely tucked into the sand. It's the perfect location. But you can't always pick your neighbors. A mantis shrimp has moved in next door. The octopus would gladly eat her tiny new neighbor. But this standoff isn't as one-sided as it looks. The shrimp may be small, but he's highly aggressive, highly territorial, and armed with the fastest punch in the animal kingdom. See that leg with a white club-like tip folded down in front? That's a defiant fighting pose known as the Merrill spread. See that punch? Well, you can't, because it's as fast as a bullet. And 50 times faster than the blink of an eye. A mantis shrimp's high-powered punch can kill animals much larger than themselves. It's brains versus prawn. Time to see what being one of the fastest learners on the planet gets you when your back's against the wall. The octopus blasts the shrimp with water. But this tiny terror is just too fast. And his punch, too painful. Then, Alex witnesses something extraordinary. The octopus has an idea. She picks up the building blocks of her house and repurposes them. She's imagined herself a shield.
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was screaming underwater. Coming out of her den and grabbing that shell to use it as a shield, it was such a beautiful example of really complex intelligence.
Taking a familiar object and reimagining it, that's behavior never filmed before.
I felt completely shocked down there today at the level of sophistication that I was witnessing.
It reshapes the way we think about the octopus mind and just what they're capable of. Scientists often look for answers in animals more closely related to us, like chimpanzees, elephants, and whales. But to get a bigger picture of how intelligence evolved, we need to look at diverse species, and the octopus is key.
Octopuses may have no parents to guide them and live such short lives. But from the moment they're born, they use their minds, memory, and remarkable ability to innovate. Not just to survive, but to thrive in their underwater world. Beneath the waves lives a mysterious creature, older than the dinosaurs. Octopus. So incredibly alien, changing color in an instant, shape-shifting into almost anything. They are the planet's true masters of disguise. Now we're discovering they are one of the most intelligent beings on the planet. 2 years immersed in their world reveals they use tools.
I felt completely shocked at the level of sophistication that I was witnessing.
Think creatively. Communicate with other species. And maybe even dream.
I wonder sometimes if the octopuses are dreaming about me, wondering what I am, who I am.
We're just beginning to understand what they have to tell us.
I've just had a conversation with an octopus.
Deep beneath the ocean's surface, a female giant Pacific octopus guards her eggs inside a hidden cave. She won't leave them, even to eat. They need her protection. She's been caring for them for over 7 months, slowly starving to death. Keeping her baby safe will be the last thing she'll ever do. This tiny octopus, about the size of a grain of rice, will head out into the world alone. Never knowing its mother or siblings. Octopuses are nature's ultimate loners. Or so scientists thought. National Geographic explorer Dr. Alex Schnell has spent years studying animal psychology. She believes octopuses are more social than we realize.
When you spend time with an octopus, you get the feeling that they're as curious about you as you are about them.
Over many hours of diving in northern Australia, she's gained the trust of a shy female day octopus.
There was a moment between us where she must have decided that I wasn't a threat to her and let me follow her around.
Alex has even given her a name.
She'd had a little scar below her eye, and that's how I named her Scarlet.
Although she might accept Alex, octopuses like Scarlet are usually wary of their own kind.
They're essentially lone rangers. In fact, octopuses that bump into each other will often either mate, eat each other, or both.
So when another day octopus approaches Scarlet, Alex is concerned.
I was so nervous. Because you never know how these things are going to turn out.
They size each other up. Both darken their skin color. Often a sign of aggression. Scarlet needs to work out what the intruder wants. And there's only one way to do that.
The really strange thing about day octopuses is that they have to touch each other to figure out what the other one wants.
Scarlet uses her suckers, 25 times more sensitive than a human fingertip, to shake hands with the stranger. He's a male, looking for a mate. Scarlet's not interested, but he won't give up. Scarlet's in trouble. If he gets his arms tight around her, she could be suffocated.
It was such a relief to watch her break free.
With social interactions so dangerous, it's easy to see why an octopus like Scarlet would choose to be alone. But she seems perfectly content to hang out with Alex.
I can form a social bond with an octopus. So maybe this idea that they're complete loners isn't true.
There's growing evidence that octopuses are using their intelligence to weigh up who to get close to. They're not antisocial, just discerning, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. To understand how octopuses choose who to spend their time with, we need to look at their dating habits. In Indonesia, the love life of one octopus is helping to rewrite the rule book on their relationships. Trapped in his den by low tide, this male algae octopus can't wait to be free. Because when the water rises, he goes looking for romance. Since he only comes out of his den a few hours a day, he needs to fast-track it. Luckily, his zip code means mates aplenty. But all the local octopuses are making the most of high tide. It's octopus speed dating. It's a social situation so unusual. Marine biologist Dr. Christine Hufford has been studying it for 2 decades.
The algae octopus interact frequently, many times a day. But the more I watch the algae octopus, the more questions I have about what really drives these social interactions.
Could this closely packed arena be the reason algae octopuses break the mold when it comes to socializing? The young male has spotted a female, but a more experienced striped rival gets there first. His extended arm is an open invitation to mate. Our young male is prepared to fight for her. The males wrestle, each of their 8 arms moving independently. It's the ultimate showdown. But it's more than just a physical fight. It's intelligence gathering.
It learns its rank among the other neighbors around it and what resources it might be able to take, what it can get away with behaviorally, what it needs to fight for.
These octopuses are not only living together, they're getting smarter because of it. It's social learning. And scientists didn't know wild octopuses could do it. The young male is still on his quest for love. But now he's got a new strategy. Best to go for a female who's not already taken. He starts the conversation. His tens of thousands of color-changing skin cells send a message. Scientists call this passing cloud display. Her reply looks promising. He moves in.
He sticks up his papillae over his eye, which is a little finger-like fleshy projection. He looks as big as he can be. He's got a white background with a big black stripe that says, "I will either fight you or mate with you."
His come-on has done the trick. He extends his specialized mating arm. Its modified tip will deliver a packet of sperm, if he can just find the right spot. Nope, still not it. But she's getting impatient and hungry. He's gotten this far. So if she wants to go hunting, he'll hang on. Mating on the move. It's been a steep learning curve for this little guy. But his decision to interact with others, whether fighting, communicating, or mating, has made him smarter and more successful. But is the algae octopus a one-off? Christine thinks not.
We might learn that there are other social octopuses out there, that it's maybe not as uncommon as we think.
Algae octopuses are forced to interact. But there are places where octopuses choose to come together. Over 100 miles off the coast of Costa Rica, and nearly 2 miles beneath the surface of the ocean, in one of the most extreme environments on Earth, a team of scientists made a remarkable discovery. A brand new species. Nicknamed the Dorado octopus, but so new to science, they're yet to be given an official name. And they didn't just find a few. They found over 100. Almost all are females, caring for their eggs. This is one of only 4 deep-sea octopus nurseries known to exist on our planet. What attracts so many moms-to-be to this particular spot? A deep-sea spring, where warm water flows out of cracks in the sea floor, speeding up the development of their eggs. Being so close to each other is a price worth paying. These moms will be down here together for almost 2 years as their babies grow. Each tiny hatchling a symbol of their mutual tolerance. Scientists believe more sites like this remain undiscovered. There could be thousands of octopus putting their differences aside to secure the next generation. But what happens when octopuses of different species meet? Dr. Alex Schnell has heard that underneath this unassuming pier, something highly unusual is happening. The action happens at night.
I only have the tiny light from my torch to guide me. You have this eerie feeling as you're moving through the water. I noticed two little eyes popping out. And it's a pale octopus. She comes out and we have this wonderful moment where her suckers touch my gloved hand. That felt like she was inviting me to go on a swim with her.
The pale octopus leads Alex to an upcycled artificial reef created by divers. It may not look like much, but it offers octopuses everything they need to feel at home. They are everywhere, peeking back at Alex from every cubbyhole. But that's not the only thing that caught Alex's attention.
Normally I'd see about 1 or 2 octopuses, and they're usually of the same species. But down here you have about 100 individuals of 5 different species. And they're all just living together. From octopuses as small as a golf ball to octopuses as big as a beach ball. That is an extraordinary octopus oasis down there, with several species coexisting.
Great real estate may have attracted so many octopuses here. But it doesn't explain how animals that would normally fight, even kill each other, are living harmoniously.
I've got a theory that might help explain what we're seeing here. We've got 5 different species with very different personalities.
The Maori, one of the largest species in the world, is quite shy.
And then a really tiny octopus, the southern keeled, has a lot of sass. It's a perfect mix of personalities for them all to coexist.
So perhaps, just like us, sometimes it's their differences that allow them to get along. In this thriving octopolis, they've learned to defy their instincts and live peacefully with their neighbors. Octopuses are smart enough to choose companionship when it counts. But are there any limits to who they'll cooperate with? Alex's favorite loner, Scarlet, is out hunting on the reef. And she's not the only one. A coral trout, growing up to 3 feet long and weighing 3 times as much as Scarlet. Big enough to be a threat. Scarlet is certainly keeping an eye on him. But not because she's scared. When the small fish flee, they're out of his reach. Not Scarlet's, though. He needs to call in the octopus cavalry and changes his body color from patterned to pale. It's the beginning of a signal Scarlet's been waiting for. Because this trout is now her hunting buddy. Scarlet watches as he shows her where to look. Then begins a sweep search. When she's in the right place, the trout returns to his normal pattern. They appear to be using their bodies to talk to each other.
One really fundamental component of human language is a thing called referential signaling. My little girl, she's 1 year old, and she's already started pointing to certain things, and so I can deduce that she might want a drink if she points to my water bottle. But of course, a fish doesn't have a hand to point, so they do a headstand. Here we have really unique communication occurring between different species.
Scarlet gets help finding food. If she misses, more for the trout. It's teamwork. It's given Alex an idea for an impromptu experiment.
Science often starts with an idea, even if they're crazy ideas. After witnessing the octopus hunting with the fish, I decided to try something.
Today, Scarlet is hunting alone.
I follow her around and wait until she flushes out crustaceans from the coral rubble. I can see that she misses a few crabs here and there. I start pointing towards them.
And to my surprise, she responded. She had an understanding of what I was trying to communicate to her.
Scarlet is quick to catch the prey Alex has shown her.
Maybe she preferred me as a hunting partner. I was playing the role of the fish, but I wasn't taking any of her catch. It felt weird and wonderful to be having this interaction with Scarlett. Here we are, separated by over 550 million years of evolution, but we're having a conversation. It just felt like magic.
The more time we spend in the water with octopuses, the more they surprise us. Every remarkable new discovery, breaking down our beliefs about what they could or should do. Far from being lifelong loners, they can be social animals. But ones that use their skills selectively to get ahead. From octopus moms doing the best for their babies, to cross-species partnerships, even with us, as long as it suits them. What more secrets are yet to be revealed? Only time will tell. When National Geographic explorer Dr. Alex Schnell first went looking for a day octopus, she couldn't have imagined the journey she'd begun, or the friend she would make.
So this is pretty amazing. It's really fascinated by you.
As fascinated by me as I am by her.
But what do you think it is? You think it's the eyes that it recognizes a thinking being?
I feel like they're driven by so much curiosity.
Yeah. No, you can really sense her curiosity about you.
Day octopus are normally timid, but this one seemed to welcome Alex into her world.
I think it's amazing how quickly she discarded the idea that you might be threatening. Curiosity outweighed the danger signals.
Yeah.
A bigger creature, unfamiliar, could be anything, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And she initiates
Yeah.
the touch, which is really important.
Alex never dreamt that an animal so alien, so different, would reach out to her.
How could she have any basis for that? There wouldn't have been any kind of innate memory of that?
I ask myself that question all the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in that brain.
Yeah.
The time spent with Scarlett was further proof of just how intelligent octopus are. They learn fast, because they have to.
They don't have anyone to learn from. They don't live with brothers or
Right. So
sisters.
it's not culturally passed down, taught by
so-
parents or, yeah.
No, and I think everything is learnt from their environment.
Yeah. Don't their brains develop very rapidly compared to, say, ours, just physiologically?
Yeah, so it's life in the fast lane. The stakes are high. They don't have anyone to protect them.
Right.
So they have to learn really quickly.
Yeah, and they don't have any natural protection like shell, teeth, claws, anything like that. So they can hide, they can plan, they can watch, they can strategize.
Exactly. Their mind is their weapon.
Yeah. They're kind of scientists. You know, like the way kids are scientists. Kids just want to know how things work, right? So they're these young, curious minds that are figuring out a theory of how their world works around them.
Yeah, it's a completely alternative pathway to intelligence, and that's what draws me to studying these animals. And these guys are just breaking all the rules.
With their remarkable intelligence and curiosity, octopuses overcome almost any obstacle their habitat throws at them. Problem-solving masterminds that never switch off.
She's out. She's sleeping.
She's sleeping, yeah.
Octopus snoring.
It's really interesting because she goes through quite a still sleep cycle here, but then she'll have a moment where she starts to move quite a bit. This is what we call an active phase of sleep.
Yeah, like REM sleep.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what happens when humans have an active phase of sleep is we dream.
Right.
And so it might mean that she's also dreaming.
Yeah. Oh, she's dreaming. Trust me. Come on, look. I mean, it's like a dog's paws, you know, when they're chasing rabbits and they're
Absolutely.
Because we don't know dogs are dreaming, but we know dogs are dreaming. We know it. Well, dreams are really important to me. I mean, I do a lot of my creative work, I think, in dreams, you know. I mean, I always said it's my own private streaming channel. It's free. But, you know, Avatar was based on dream imagery. Terminator was based on dream imagery. Scenes in Aliens were based on dream imagery. Seems pretty obvious she's dreaming to me. Now, what's she dreaming about? That we can't answer.
That we can't answer. You'll notice during the active phase, she's twitching and also changing colour.
She's doing it right now. Yeah.
That could mean that she's processing memory.
Yeah. So that could be experience, could be location, could be building, you know, some kind of geographic map.
Exactly.
Memory map.
Building a mental map of her habitat, which could save her life in a future encounter. Even looking at their behaviours and the way that their skin changes, that in itself is a window into their mind. While we can't talk to them, their skin tells the stories.
It does tell a story.
If octopuses do dream, it is one of many secrets that scientists have yet to discover. The more time we spend in their world, the more we learn about the intelligent ways they survive. Just 10 years ago, a large gathering of Dorado females was discovered 10,000 feet deep.
So this is more your territory.
Well, I've seen these guys plenty of times, but I haven't seen this kind of aggregating behavior where you see a bunch of them in one place. They're usually solo acts.
Out of the 300 species of octopus, most of them are loners.
Right.
But you have a handful of species where you will see them aggregate into these small communities. They've come together here collectively to take advantage of the hot water that's seeping out of the vents.
Right. And you're thinking that the warmth of that hydrothermal flow, that warm water coming up, is causing the eggs to develop faster.
Yeah.
Like a bird keeping its eggs warm.
Exactly.
Right?
Otherwise it would just take too long. We don't even have a name for an octopus group.
Well, what would you call it? A flock of octopuses. Flocktopus.
Flocktopus.
What's amazing, every time you go into the deep ocean, you're always finding out something new.
So how deep have you gone then?
Well, I've gone a lot deeper than this, actually to the deepest place in the world. But once you get down below, 500 or 1,000 feet, it's all pitch black, all the way down. And I think we're at, what, 10,000?
10,000.
10,000 feet here. Yeah, so it's pitch black all day, every day, and cold.
But I've heard that you have also seen a Dumbo octopus.
Oh, the Dumbos are beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. And they have their little head fins, their little cephalic fins. They look like Dumbo ears, but they're really fins.
Yeah.
I don't think any other species have fins like that on their head, but they're gorgeous. They're translucent and they have a kind of an iridescent quality. They're really quite beautiful.
Do you draw creative inspiration from these explorations?
Absolutely. I've got some characters in an upcoming Avatar film that are inspired by some of the deep creatures, deep cephalopods.
Oh, excellent.
I can't say anything more about that right now. I mean, not only are these like particularly alien looking octopus, but I think all octopuses are kind of alien.
I think that's what draws us to them, because we as humans are so fascinated by the unknown and by the alien. And here we have a very alien-like creature, but then we can resonate with them as well. They show these familiar traits that we can really connect to.
I mean, the ocean still has so much to teach us, even in the places we think we know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's so much to learn still. We've got a whole different alien world down there.
That's right.